Welcome back to the Band Guide. I'm your band guy, Colin, and this is another 5-minute GarageBand expert where I'm bringing you 30 tips and tricks for mixing and recording in GarageBand in 30 days. Today, I want to talk about stacking compressors on your vocal to get a really present upfront vocal sound in your mix that still sounds natural. The reason that we do this is so that we can have the two different goals of compression done separately so that they're both performing really naturally. Neither of them is working too hard, and they're both just doing a little bit of work while still getting the dynamic control and the presence that we want. So our first compressor is just going to be a fast compressor that's just going to clamp down really quickly on any sort of peaks in our vocal. It's only going to do a little bit of gain reduction just to reduce any volume that really gets too loud at any point. And then the second compressor is going to kind of always be on, but it's going to have a nice slow attack time, and it's just going to get more and more extreme anytime he gets loud. So it's going to help bring out the presence in the vocal, bring out the tone in the vocal, and just help the vocal sit up front a little bit more. So we're getting a little bit of dynamic control, and then we're also just getting a little more presence out of the vocal in 2 easy steps. Now, you could do this with any compressor. In this example, we're going to be using a stock compressor as our first compressor. That's just going to be really, really fast. And then we're going to be using the Klanghelm MJUC Junior. This is a free compressor that you can download completely free. I'll link to it in the description below. And this compressor just has a nice little vintage tone that I like to use sometimes on vocals. So the first compressor is just going to be knocking off a little bit of gain. The second compressor is just going to be kind of helping bring out that tone and also a little more dynamic control while it's at it. So let's go and listen to this example, and I'm going to turn off the compressors and just focus on that lead vocal, and notice when I kick the compressors on, how you just hear the vocals a little bit more. You hear the subtleties and you hear the tone out of that lead vocal a little bit more.
It's like they're calling your name on the way back home. You never get over it. Oh, it's like they're calling your name on the way back home. You never get over it. Oh.
It's pretty cool, right? So it's subtle, but again, mixing is all subtle changes that all add up to a really huge professional sound. So you don't want anything to be too extreme. Doing this subtly really helps bring out this vocal just a little bit more. So how do we do this? So the first compressor we have on here is just the stock compressor, and we just set it until we were seeing a couple, maybe 1 to 3 of these lights kick on anytime he was hitting a higher note. Now this whole chorus he's kind of hitting higher notes,
It's like they're
louder
calling
notes.
your name on the way back home. You never get over it. Oh.
So, and on here we just have a pretty fast attack time. We've set the ratio kind of high because we just want to kick on and really turn down those peaks. And we just set the threshold until we were getting that amount. And then with the second compressor, the Klanghelm compressor, we set a slow attack time. This is going to be a slow attack, slow release. And then we just brought this up until we were seeing it sit where it was always on when the vocals were singing, and it would just turn up a little bit more, get a little more gain reduction anytime the vocal was really getting into a louder section. So watch that meter.
It's like they're calling your name on the way back home. You never get over it.
So this 0 here is no compression, and then it just turns up and turns, anytime it's going negative, that's more compression happening, more gain reduction happening. So this one's just kind of always on anytime he's singing, and it just gets more extreme when he really hits a higher note. Any compression's going to do that, but with the slower attack time, this is just happening a little bit slower, a little more naturally. So we're stacking these compressors, we're really bringing up the tone. It's super easy to do, and it can help you get that upfront present vocal sound without having either compressor work too hard. So be sure to try this out. You can do this with any compressors. These are a great couple of free ones that you can use completely free inside GarageBand. If you need help with compression, if you don't really understand compression, be sure to grab my free compression cheat sheet. It breaks down exactly what compression is, talks about the ratio, the threshold, all the things that go into a compressor to make them work. Now this plugin here really quickly, it's a little bit different. This compression knob here is your threshold and your ratio kind of turned into one knob, and then this is your attack time and release time kind of set into one knob too. And then you just have your makeup gain over here. But but all the same parts are in this compressor. All the same parts are in all compressors. So be sure to download that free compression cheat sheet. I'll link to it in the description below. It will really help you use compressors to get a more professional sound inside GarageBand. If this video was helpful to you, be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow with another video.